Hey everyone, welcome back to CompetitionX. Today we're going to be looking at a new rally chassis from a Chinese company called AutoRC. This is the AR10 Rally car. Now the AR10 is a ground-up shaft drive chassis design geared specifically for rally. Now it does have some interesting features that makes it a little different than other RC cars, but we'll go over that when we get to the unboxing. So let's get to that right now. Okay, here we are, the AutoRC AR10 1/10 scale RC Rally chassis. Part number 2110301. Kind of a front view of the car here. No other pictures of the car anywhere else in the box. So we'll have to show you, so you can't really see what the car is going to look like outside of seeing pictures online, not on the box, but that's all right. Okay, before we get to unboxing the car, here is the manual. It was originally in Chinese, I think in Chinese, and this was a special one that was sent to me that had been translated over to English. So it's a print. I'm not sure how the original US version is going to be. It may be a PDF, it may come like this, or it may be printed as a real kind of manual. But this one has got all the parts and everything in English now, so it'll make it easier to build. So let's kind of scan through that real quick. Shock build, chassis, all that. And then your electronics install, and of course the back cover. So that is the manual. This is what I'll be building from, but again, the kit will probably come with either a PDF version or possibly a non-stapled printed manual, I'm not sure. Anyway, this is this one here, English version 1.0. All right, let's get to the kit. All right, so open the box. You've got two big bags. Let me move this up here. The first bag is going to be the chassis. And what I like about it is it's a metal aluminum chassis, a little bit of kick up here, and then it has side plates, kind of like an 8 scale car. It goes this way to match up the holes. So it's got kind of plates like an 8 scale off-road car, which kind of allow you to add more stuff on the side here, as well as kind of give it a little bit of more, reduce the amount of flex front to back. So there's that chassis. It is looks like a 2 to 3 millimeter chassis, might be 2 millimeter. Lots of countersunk holes, very nice quality. Okay. Then the main parts bag. That was not a good cut. All right, so we're gonna go like this. Actually, these are numbered. So give me 1 second. I'll be back in a second. I'm gonna number them so that we can do them in numerical order. Okay. So the first things that are going to be, all the bags are numbered in order. So there's a 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 to coincide with the instruction manual. We'll go through these in a second. We're going to look at these kind of extra pieces first. One is the foam bumper, standard foam bumper. Feels like your standard foam bumper. Looks like we have all of the parts for potentially the bearings, maybe diff parts. So there's all your full ball bearings. Lots of different shims, maybe for diff or axles perhaps. All of the pins, it's like hinge pins, drivetrain pins, maybe diff for the diff, inside of the diff to hold the sun gears in place. And then a bunch of hardware, ball ends, some, looks like brass pieces. They could be for these steering knuckles. Looks like another bearing in there perhaps. A bushing, spacer. Okay, so that comes in the spare bag. Okay, and bag number 1. So far I'm kind of liking the look of this. Lots of quality parts. All right, bag number 1. Your diff housings. Oh, this, okay. How come all companies don't do this? Not only do they have their name, but they got a little white space here. You can write the fluid viscosity on it. That's brilliant. No more using friggin' Sharpies. You just write it right on that. That is a great idea. Anyway, 3 diffs, front, rear, and center. Metal diff parts. Looks like all your out drives and maybe some assembly hardware. Flathead screws. And then your spur gear. Looks like your O-rings and your diff gaskets. Everything to build the diff. Very nice. All right, moving on to bag number 2. We have some, I don't know what these are. These look like actually bulkheads. So these look 3D printed with aluminum hinge pin holders, I guess. Now, these they are going to have options, different options for these in aluminum. They're not going to, from what I understand, do molded versions because the cost of the molds can usually be quite expensive, and that's based on maybe how many cars they're going to make. I don't know what their reasoning is, but they 3D printed these. But these 3D prints actually look pretty good. And from what I understand, they're going to give out free STL files so that if you break this piece, you can reprint it yourself if you want to make another version of it, or another copy of it. So that should be fine. I mean, these are going to be pretty like low stress point area anyway, so it should be fine. Again, this looks like a G10 fiberglass brace of some sort. Another brace, 3D printed, very lightweight. Another brace. So these may be actually chassis braces, maybe upper lower deck braces. I'm not sure yet. Another 3D printed part here. A little bit of flex in it. Mounting hardware, and then more, looks like front, rear, and center bulkhead pieces. So this is probably where your diff is going to sit inside here, perhaps. Okay. All right, moving on to bag 3. These look like the top of the bulkhead mounts where the shock towers mount. Set it on there, and the shock tower mount here. There's one on each side. So kind of bulkhead caps, I guess. Those are aluminum. Can't really hear them, but trust me, they're aluminum. And then these actually look like aluminum versions of this. Maybe these are lower and these are the upper. I'm not sure yet. We'll look let's check it out. Let's look and see exactly where these go. So I'm not completely familiar with this car. I'm not sure. So there's the pieces there. So you got your lower one with this. You got your 3D printer part there. Again, your center one, 3D printed part there. And then maybe these are like a cap. So they go right there. So they are the cap. The aluminum ones here are the cap there, and then you have your aluminum shock tower mounts there. So that'll encapsulate the diff. Okay. And then mounting hardware and some additional gears there. Oh, these are probably the input gears for this is a shaft drive car. Since it is a shaft drive car, this is probably going to be the input gear that sticks out this way. Diff sits this way, gear sits this way, and the drivetrain that way. So, okay, moving on to number 4. .3D printed spur gear cover. I do like, first of all, I do like the quality of these prints are like great. But they're also super lightweight, which is going to be great for keeping the weight down on the car. So that's great, like that. Looks like bulkhead pieces. We have the center bulkhead there, and the motor attaches there. More mounting hardware and a pinion. This does look like it's either 32 or mod 8 or 6 or something like that. We won't be using that. Although we may have to, because this does not look like a normal spur gear, so we may have to use 32 pitch to start with until we can see if we can get a 48 pitch. I don't really have a whole lot of 32 pitch pinions, so we'll have to see if we can maybe get a 48 pitch spur gear. And then your front and rear drive shafts. AutoRC 170 millimeter, 85 millimeter. I like that they print all that on there. All that little extra stuff is really kind of cool. Okay, moving to bag 5. And these aren't some cheap bags either. These are like heavy duty bags. Keep these, reuse these. Mounting hardware. Not sure, maybe steering. Oh, this looks like it's all steering. It could be a drag link, maybe servo mounts, steering posts, one of the bell crank arms and the second bell crank arm with the servo saver, spring, and servo saver parts. Bag 6. Front and rear shock tower, fiberglass shock towers. A little bit of adjustment there. A little bit of adjustment for your camber link settings as well. It's nice, always helpful. Not sure what these guys are. Maybe, looks like they could be, and not sure what those are. But whatever these are, fiberglass, these could be body mounts perhaps. These could be actually, they go like this. Yeah, so body post mounts, possibly. And then caps. These might be for the actual diffs. Not quite sure how they sit unless they get captured. Oops, lightweight though, 3D printed. And then mounting hardware. Okay, bag 7. Looks like we have our steering knuckles that are molded plastic, rear hubs that are molded plastic, and caster block that are aluminum with R9 and L9. I'm going to guess it's 9 degrees of caster in them. These look like they could be, yeah, these are your outer, come on now. They probably attach like this somehow, and then the ball stud goes there, and that's your outer camber adjustment point. This is what I thought was kind of cool. No molded arms. They are G10 fiberglass suspension arms, and everything kind of attaches to this. So they're strong, not flexible, and probably a lot cheaper to make than a mold for plastic. So front and rears, all the mounting hardware, and this looks like, can't tell, let's look. Grab it, slippery bag. Ah. I do not know what these are. Oh, these are probably inner, upper hinge, inner or lower. Oh, these are probably, oh, these are for here. That's what it is. These are the hinge pin mounts. So it's probably mounts like this, maybe. There we go, like that, and that becomes your inner hinge pin mount. And then probably mounts out here. That's your, probably the same way, and that's your outer hinge pin mount. Perhaps. 1, 2, 3, 4 inner hinge pin mounts. These are somehow the outer hinge pin mount. I'm not quite sure. Maybe the screw just goes through there and captures on that. So that's really cool. I like that. Neat. Okay. Bag 8. A lot of parts on this car, that's for certain. So we have your hexes, molded hexes, ball stud ends. I like that it's a pass-through, so you don't have to pop them off to adjust them. You can take the wrench and unscrew it and pull it off and move it around, and then adjust it without actually having to pop these off. That kind of protects these from being stretched, from taking them on and off repeatedly. Nice feature there. Turnbuckles, steel turnbuckles, threaded, of course. And your outdrives, or CBDs, or CBAs, or whatever you want to call them. They are 44 millimeters. It says AutoRC on them as well with 44 millimeters. Let's see if you can see that, but it's all printed on there, and that's cool. And then, almost finally, one more bag after this. This is going to be all the shocks. This is kind of what I was hoping to see. Shocks make a big difference in the rally world. You got your shock fluid. I'll have to inquire what that is. I don't know if it says in the manual, but we'll look. Shock rod ends, molded, spring retainers, sorry, these are the shock rod ends here, molded, lower shock caps, we got one extra here, one came off, so let's just look at these shocks. These are really nice shocks, aluminum shocks, aluminum caps, aluminum threads, or right height adjusters. You got your shock shafts, pistons, O-rings, all the internal parts, and these, I don't know if these go inside the shock cap. The red ones might go inside the shock cap. These ones might go, the black ones might go inside of the actual retainer here to keep it from moving. Let's see if you can see inside there. Yeah, so there's a groove inside there, so these black ones go inside here to kind of give these some friction so they don't move on you while you're driving. So these are really nice shocks. Bottom load, cartridge loads from the bottom. So very nice. 4 springs. I'm going to assume they're all the same weight. They do feel like it on first pull, but those are very nice shocks. And finally, bag 10. More hardware, looks like wheel nuts, body clips, maybe spacers, body nuts, or body mount spacers there perhaps. All of your body mounts. Don't know what this is. This might be a front bumper. Yep, that's what it is for the front bumper. Foam spacer, maybe for the battery tray. Front bumper. More posts. More posts. Body mount, kind of wiggly guys. You know what I'm talking about. When you set the body on, these kind of swivel a little bit. Body mount swivels, there you go. Servo tape for your electronics. And these things here. Don't know what they're for. But I'm sure, like most of this stuff here, we don't know what it's for. We'll see when we get to the manual. So there you go. That's everything that comes in the AutoRC AR10 Rally chassis box. Now the AR10 is quite unique, and we're really excited to see how it's going to perform. As an added bonus, AutoRC did send over a few aftermarket parts for this car that we may use in the build. Those parts include some aluminum upgrades, as well as some carbon pieces. Man, check out those carbon fiber arms. Now as usual, we're going to do a full build on this car, as well as some great rally action, so please make sure you stay tuned to the channel by hitting that subscribe button and the bell icon to be notified of future videos. Thanks for watching, we'll see you at the rally course.